right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash, giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. So I want to entitle this lesson, The Mark is Coming Very Soon, right? And I'm speaking on the MOTB. And we spoke on this as a topic at camp yesterday. So I found a couple of videos. Two of them brothers posted in the chat, and one of them I found on Instagram myself. So I'm going to go into a video lesson on these. And this is just these things that we're about to see on these video clips. These are just precursors to the MOTB being implemented and established and made mandatory, right? Because we've been prophesying for years on end that there's going to be a microchip coming, which is the MOTB, right? Specifically, the microchip that's going to be made mandatory to be put into your arm or your hand or in your forehead, specifically to participate in society, meaning that if you don't take this mark, you won't be able to buy, sell, as it says in the scriptures. And we'll of course go into this in the book of Revelation, right? But I do want to play a couple of these clips, and Lord willing, this video lesson is edifying, right?
From September 18th, 2025, withdrawing more than £200 in cash within 7 days will activate an alert on your account. Yes, the moment you cross that limit, your banking activity goes straight to the Financial Intelligence Unit, supported by HMRC, the Treasury, and the Financial Conduct Authority. And it doesn't stop there. A new automated monitoring system will scan every withdrawal, deposit, and transfer. Take out £300 today, and another £100 later in the week, instantly reviewed. Your account could be checked, restricted, or even temporarily paused. Do this often, and you could end up on a high-risk list, facing blocked transactions, limited card use, and possible reports to other agencies. The rule is aimed at reducing activity in certain sectors like property, second-hand cars, and cash-based deals. But many believe it could affect ordinary people too, making every step of your financial life feel closely monitored. From September 18th, 2025, withdraw...
All right, so you see that first video. And this is happening in the UK. Recently, they just announced that by the year 2029, they want to implement the digital ID system, right? Which they're probably going to do it before that, but they want to implement a digital ID system, basically saying that if you don't have a digital ID, you won't be able to work. Well, it's going to go further than that, right? But the digital ID, which is something that they're working on, and they have the technology, they have the software, they have the protocols in place to actually be able to do this. Now it's just a matter of conditioning the public to accept something like this, right? And this is what they want to do. It's all about control. It's all about tracking, surveillance, and knowing everything that you do has to go through this beast system, right? That's the goal, is just to have complete control over every little thing that you do in your life. And every little thing that you do in your life is going to be watched and monitored, right? So go down and watch this next video.
Labour is pushing digital ID hard, and they say it's going to control migration, but France and Germany have digital ID and they've got record migration, so that's a lie. They also say it's going to control the black market economy, but the whole point of the black market economy is that you don't get asked for your ID, so that's a lie as well. So if it isn't going to do the things that they say it's going to do and why they want it, why do they want it, and why are they using threats to implement it? Starmer said very clearly and menacingly yesterday, you will will not work in the UK if you don't have a digital ID. So I won't be able to work, feed my family, house them over my dead body. Try it, Keir. So we already have a national insurance number. You cannot, without that number, get a bank account, rent a house, hire a lawyer for anything. You can't do anything without a national insurance number. So we have the security that we need to check our ID. So if it isn't about security, what's it about? It's about surveillance and control. It's right out of the UN's Agenda 2030. There was a dry run in COVID. Do you remember COVID, where you couldn't eat out, get on a plane, go to university? For some people, go to work without flashing your QR code on your phone. Well, let's extrapolate that a bit further. You dare to criticise migration or net zero. You dare to say that a man cannot be a woman. By the way, he can't. And you dare to raise the flag and be proud of it. You might find yourselves very quickly via your digital ID penalised, and already we have 35 people a day in the UK who are being arrested for offensive speech. So the next step on from here is digital money. I've been saying it for ages, it's coming. Your wages, your savings, your spending, your travel, all linked to your digital ID. Step out of line, say something they don't like, and they will switch you off. No travel, no car, no spending, no life. This is the Fabian autocrat's wet dream, headed by Tony Blair. And if you agree to it, you are agreeing to shackle yourself to a life without an ounce of freedom henceforth. It's pushing.
So just like she said, it's all about surveillance. It's all about complete control over everything that you do. And this is going to be a global thing. She even mentioned the C-19 pandemic situation that happened 5 years ago. And around 2021, everybody had to have some form of proof that they took that jab, that they took that juice, in order to get into different events, even some stores, and to basically carry on with your daily life, or carry on with quote unquote normal life, right? You had to show proof that you took this juice, right? You had to have proof that you took this poison. And this is going to be the same situation. It's just that particular situation was just a test run to see how they can implement the real thing. The real thing is the MOTB. And to see, how they can make something like that work, right? And they're going to do it again when it comes to this chip, right? So all of these events, man, are leading up to one, a digitally based financial system, right? Which is going to be run and controlled by your government, which is essentially controlled by these top elite Edomites, right? Who we know, which are the Izzies, right? If you can tell what I'm talking about. Certain terms they're picking up on these algorithms, so I'm gonna say the Izzies, right? So these people, their goal and their mission is to have complete and total utter world domination, just like these villains you see on these cartoons and superhero movies. The villain is the one who's looking to have complete, total, utter world domination, right? And that's what's going on here. That's what's going on here in this situation. But let me go to this last clip.
For most people, it's part of a plan to modernize payments and reduce fraud. You still get a check in the mail. If you receive federal payments, including Social Security, big changes are coming. Starting September 30th, the Treasury Department will stop sending paper checks for most people. It's part of a plan to modernize payments and reduce fraud. You still get a check in the mail. You'll need to switch to direct deposit or a prepaid debit card. Waivers are available in limited cases, and you can apply right now at godirect.gov. If you receive federal payment,
All right, so you saw that starting September 30th. This is here in America, which that is tomorrow. There will be no more paper checks being sent out from the U.S. Treasury. And again, this is just another start to a digital financial system, right? That's all this is. It's just another start to a digital financial system, right? So let's go ahead and get into the scriptures. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, Salakia, in verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And this is this system, this beast system, right? Going into the financial system, going into the policies and, the things of how this world is going to be ran under this beast system, right? You have to pledge allegiance to the system. And how are you going to do that? Let's keep reading. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? It's that mark. We know that mark is what? Charagma, right? Which means to insert, right? Or incision. You know what I'm saying? Or a stamp, right? It's a physical thing. So like it. Verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which is what? 666, which is going into the Greek, that's that child-sized stigma, right? But that's this man's objective, right? That's this man, Salakia. That's this man's objective, is to have complete control over every single person in the world, right? Let's go here, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, right? And a lot of people think that this is talking about the Antichrist, which there are many Antichrists, right? But this is talking about this devil, Esau Edom, right? Who hid behind the social constructs of, being so-called white, or being, European, and all of these particular different things, right? It's like it. And being all of these particular different things, right? Calling us so-called black, changing the names of the nations and everything from their original biblical names, right? So he could hide himself. He can hide who he really is, which they don't want it to be really truly revealed that they're the Edomites, right? Because that lines up with who he is in the scriptures, right? And once you link him to the scriptures, that's how he is losing his power, right? Because we're doing what? We're linking this man to the scriptures, right? And we're calling him out for who he is, right? Let's go to Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, right? So that's the judgment for taking this chip. And there's no way out of it. There's no, all right, I took it, but I repented. So, and now I can receive salvation. There's no way out of taking this chip. Or let me rephrase that. There's no way out of the judgment if you take this chip. If you take the MOTB. Once you take the MOTB, you're locked in for that judgment. You know what I'm saying? That's just the condition of it. So in order to avoid that judgment, you have to what? Not take the MOTB, which takes what? It takes faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It takes faith that even though you're completely separated from society and you're at the potential of being beheaded, you know, becoming a martyr for this gospel, this ministry, by what? By not taking this mark. You know, you will escape that judgment and can receive salvation. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 12, and it says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?" And Lucifer just means enlightened ones, right? It says, "Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? Weaken the nations, Salakia. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High," right? So this devil wants to be like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This devil wants to be God on earth and God to all you people here on earth. But they can't do it. You know, the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has made them the base of men, right? So the only way that they can attempt to even do this is implement a system, an artificial system for that matter, by implementing a chip that everybody is going to have to be monitored. Everybody is going to have to be monitored. Surveilled over. If that's a word, I don't even think that's a word. I just made that up. But, or being watched at all times, 24/7. Every transaction you make, every step you take. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably be counting the steps that you take when you walk outside if you take this mark. You took too many steps today. You need to take your ass back in the house. Sit down somewhere, right? That's what this devil is about. That's what this devil is up to. But he knows his time is short, so he's got to try, and his real mission is to get rid of all of us. If he can really just get rid of all of that, what his idea is to get rid of us and to force Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to give him back the blessing which he gave away. But that's his idea, is to really force Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to give him back his blessing by getting rid of us. Because if he believes that if he can get rid of us, if he can just get rid of us, that the Lord will have no choice but to get rid or but to give him this blessing. But little do they know that's not going to happen, right? He's going to fail at this Mission Impossible thing that he got going on, right? It's the book of Micah chapter 2 and verse 1, and it reads, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand," right? And these devils do this because they what? They can. They're able to. They've got the money. They've got the power. They've got all the tools to where they can do things like this. Now they just have to get the masses on board. They have to figure out how to get the masses to accept this with as little resistance as possible. Verse 2, and it says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, right? Because eventually what they're going to do is they're just going to go all out with violence. They're going to say, fuck this shit. We're gonna come in with heat now. Fuck all of the convincing and duping you and trying to, get you to, accept it willingly and everything like that. They're gonna come and it's gonna be a choice, but if you don't take it, it's possible that you will be beheaded, It's the book of Habakkuk. Salakia. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer that when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith, right? And Esau's soul is lifted up, right? But the elect, right, the just, the righteous in the eyes of the Heavenly Father are going to live by faith. Verse 5, it says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, right? So this devil is just, again, his goal is complete, utter world domination. And he wants to have everybody under his subjection, under his rulership. And he wants to do it in a way to where he has complete control over everything that you could possibly think of. Even thinking, he wants to have control over that. If you think the wrong thought, he wants to punish you for it. If you have any thoughts that are against his rulership and his system, he wants to punish you for it and make sure that you're even thinking is under his subjection, right? And he's able to monitor and have surveillance over that, right? So look, Lord willing, this video lesson was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Chakwadash, giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. And until next time, Shalom.